I started writing about habits because my body fell apart, actually. And I call this my second testimony. It was when I was 30. I was transitioning from being a missionary in China to being a corporate lawyer, which is a pretty wild transition. And I had just a great worldview. I mean, so thankful for all that I learned and that the Lord had done in my life and my time in China. But I unconsciously assimilated to all the typical habits and practices of modern lawyering, um, which were technological. I was always on my phone scrolling. They were, you know, busyness, always adding more to my schedule. And they were very disembodied because, as both as a missionary and a lawyer, I'm thinking all in my head all the time, right? I'm thinking, I'm writing, I'm speaking, but I'm skipping meals, I'm short in sleep, I'm not exercising. And what happened, Joshua, is that early in my law career, really my first year, like so very early, I had what I now recognize as a mental health collapse. It started with constant insomnia. It really actually started very suddenly one night where I just like woke up in the middle of the night panicking over I didn't know what. My body was shaking, like heart racing, but I couldn't figure out what I was worried about in my head. And that would very quickly almost explode into a month and then a season where I became converted from the missionary who longed to be a missionary to law and business. I got converted to the nervous medicating lawyer where I was either having to, take sleeping pills or just have a couple of drinks to even fall asleep at night. And that was a huge wake up call in my life because I looked up one day and I was like, well, my head's over here, faithful worldview, but my habits are over here, completely scrambled life. And what I was so shocked to find was that my heart had followed the habits. And I thought your head typically led the way. And nothing I'm going to say today should be against worldview, should be against preaching truth, should be against good education. I just have spent the last 10 years of my life realizing how important formation is, how important habits and practices are to cultivating a heart that truly loves and follows Jesus. Well, one way to put this is even the demons know that God is one, but they shudder. And I've been on a journey where the Lord has been showing me how your embodied reaction, like, do you shudder with anxiety or are you filled with peace and joy because of what your head knows?
Forgiveness is more for you than them.
I had inner peace for the first time in my life.
It's just Jesus. Just Jesus.